Guys, if you have a great story, or you know someone who has a great story they want to tell, but they have no funds, this is the video for them. Okay? Pull them and then mwalete. Wale wote ambao wana feel kwamba I have this great story I want to tell, but I don't have the money, I don't have the finances to tell this story. So this is a video for you, because I'm going to share some of the ways we can be able to raise money for filmmaking. Unajua watu wanajishangaa hapa sasa, pesa ya sinema ninatoa wapi? Mtu anajiuliza, pesa ya sinema natoa wapi? Kwa sababu nimekaa chini nimeandika lakini sioni. Yeah, so don't get stuck, because we're here for you. I'm here for you, and I'm going to give you some of the ways we can raise money for film. So before you go to raising money, there's something we need to look at. You need a budget. So what is a budget? A budget is just a breakdown of all the costs that are involved in filmmaking. Filming iko na processes 5. So among these processes kuna process ya development, pre-production, production, post-production, and marketing and distribution. Na hizi zote zinahitaji do. They need a budget. You need money for you to be able to do such kind of a project and to be able to do it in completion. Now, people ask like, now how do you get money? How will you raise money? And how will you also make your money back? But today we are not going to look at how money is going to be made back. Leo wacha tuangalie venye kwanza utaraise do. Sindio? Juu tutaangalia venye how you're going to also get the money back in another video, how people make money out of film. Because najua hiyo swali pia imekuja hapa, but leo wacha tuangazie hii mambo ya budgeti, tujue pesa unatoa wapi. Budget is also important, because budget ndio kenye utatumia kwenda kujua how much money you want to raise. Hii ndio budget ndio unapelekea financiers waende kufanya nini, waende kuchoose, wanasema mimi I think I can afford to fund you kwa post production, I can afford to fund your marketing and distribution, I can afford to fund you everything. So you need a budget before you go start looking for this money. So make sure you have a budget for your project before you go start looking for money. So what are some of these sources that we are looking for, where we are going to get this money for production? Number one is personal finances. Personal finances ni gani? Hii ni pesa yako. Venye tu jina inasema, mambo ni personal. Hii ni pesa yako ile yenye umesave for a quite period of time. Umesema huu mwaka lazima nifanye sinema. Lazima nifanye sinema, so nataka kufanya sinema 2, nataka kufanya sinema 1. Budget ya hii sinema ni pesa ngapi? Ni shilingi 100,000, shilingi 1,000,000. Whichever amount of money. So you have to save towards that. You have a goal of saving so that you can make that money. Or maybe kuna ile pesa ambayo unaangukia mahali kwa chama, kuna hii pesa ambayo unakuwa umepewa kama inheritance. That's your personal money. Okay? So that's one source of financing that you'll get to come and finance your film project. Number 2, the other source of financing that you're going to look at is film grants. What are film grants? So grants are monies that are offered by organizations, governments, and NGOs that are there to just help support culturally or socially maybe impactful project. So kunapata watu wanauliza, where do I get this grant? Grants ziuko applied. So watu wanaweza ambiwa, andikeni ideas, andikeni proposals, mtume, then you get, once it's selected, you get that grant. Unaenda nayo kufanya cinema. So that is another source of financing yenye tunaita film grants. So film grants normally zinakuwa applied. So you might check on various websites za organizations na unapata nini? Unapata hizo opportunities and some of those grants that are listed there. Number 3, kuna watu wanaitwa private investors. Private investors hawa ni watu ambao sasa ni wale unaambia ni aje wadau, niko na sinema nataka kupiga. So it can be your uncle, it can be your cousin, it can be your friend. Mtu tu wako tuna some cash, ajui ata invest wapi. Mtu amewin mahali lottery, ajui ata invest wapi. Mtu amepewa inheritance, hajui hii inheritance ata invest wapi. So ni unaenda pale unamwambia ni aje, nipe hii pesa yako niende ni finance movie, then nikimake do nitafanya nini, nitakurudishia. So of course kuna hao personal investors hao wana expectigi uwapatie very good plan of return on investment, because ni pesa yao wameweka pale na wanakupatia do, si ndio? So that is another way you can be able to get funds. So you can get funds from your friends, from your family members, and also from people around wenye wako na pesa yenye hawajui watainvest wapi. Number 4, we have what we call corporate sponsorships. And I know most of us tumeona hizo video kama hizo. So unapata a corporate or an organization can sponsor a production. So unapata an example like you see like a brand like Safaricom, a brand like Coca-Cola, they say we want to sponsor this movie and we know the impact of this movie to the families. It will be able to help us now show our brand to the people. So corporate wanaweza come through and sponsor the movie as part of maybe their CSR, or it could be something to do with maybe just trying to push their brand out there and stuff like that. So corporate also sponsorship is also another source of financing. Then another source of financing is we call crowdfunding. Crowdfunding mmesikia hizi ni vitu kama zile harambes. Unasikia gawase tuende tufanye harambee, tuchangishe do, tupate do, ndio tuende tufanye nini? Tufanye cinema. So crowdfunding comes handy whereby you have a project and you have a budget and you involve now the crowd. So mimi naweza peana kwa masses niseme ni aje, wasee niko na hii project nataka kufanya, naomba mnichangie. Na unajua wa Kenya pia nyinyi mnakuwa wasee mna come through vile vile na mnajua kuchanga hiyo do. So wase wana come through, wanachanga do, wanasema sasa hii tunaenda kuchangia umse so that aize kutell hii story. Maybe ni story impactful, it's a documentary, you want to make sure that it reaches out to a wider audience and au na do. So ukifanya hiyo mchango inapatia watu nini? Watu wana nini? Unapata motisha, unapata watu wanakuchangia, and then you're able to get money through crowdfunding. The next source of financing, it's called pre-sale agreements. So pre-sale agreements ni nini? Pre-sale agreement is where you have a project ready, then you go to a distributor, you go to a broadcaster, unamwambia ni aje, niko na hii project na sina do na ningetaka nikuuzie kwanza. Uende utaidistribute, unaget. Ama unapeana kwa TV, unasema sasa nyinyi kama TV nimewapatia, nataka niwapatie project, but first of all wacha nipatieni ile pesa mngenilipa for licensing niende ni shoot. Unaget. So wanakupatia do, wewe unaenda kushoot, alafu ukishoot your project unawapatia au ndo wata broadcast either kama ni streaming platform ama ni TV. That is where you do your pre-sale agreements work. So pre-sale agreements is another source of financing which some of you can consider based on how your project looks. Then the other source of financing is bank loans and film financing institutions or SACCOs. So of course reduce na Kenya tuko na sako ambazo zinapeana loan kwa filmmakers. Sijaona any. I'm trying to think of one but sijaipata. So of course hatuna. So do banks give loan? Yeah, they can give you a loan, but they don't give you a loan on that particular project. So our banks, I'm talking to you, our bankers and banking managers and bank owners, please fund intellectual property. It is the future. Okay, you can get rights of this particular project once you fund it, na ikwe kama collateral so that it can work for this person. So unapata mtu anaenda bank anaitisha loan, venye tu unaenda na logbook, unaenda na script na plan ya kushoot your movie. Unaonyesha, yeah, this is my script, this is the plan of how I'm going to shoot the movie and how I'm going to give me some time to start repaying it, to repay back the loan after maybe this number of years ndio nianze ku recoup back the finances. So of course saizi it's a jargon our banks cannot understand, especially here in Kenya, but maybe in the near future wataelewa the direction we are heading. So stay put, stay tuned, tuone venye hii mambo kunaenda. But in a few years time I think even film organizations zitakuwa zina come up together and then tutaweza kufungua sako ya filmmakers. Munaenda unachukua loan na script kama collateral, alafu unafanya nini? Unaenda unashoot hiyo script, unapewa do, unashoot script. Ukimaliza, the moment you start selling your movie, you earn your money back, you start paying it back through the banks. Okay, So watu wa bank institutions na SACCOs and financial institutions, tafadhali fanyeni mtizamo, tuangalie sisi wanafilamu tutasaidikaje hapo. So bank loans is some source of financing, but I know of majority of people wenye wameenda kuchukua bank loan lakini wameenda na collateral kama logbook ya gari, wanapeana logbook, wanaingia kuchukua loan, wanaenda kufanya movie. But you see now it's very risky, because you see movies don't make returns immediately. They take some time before they make returns. So that is why banks need to have a different maybe model on when it comes to financing maybe financial products for filmmakers. And I think it is something they should consider, because something good is cooking. Number 8, we have what we call tax incentives and rebates. Tax incentives, these are just tax, you are exempted from paying a certain amount of tax. For example, some certain regions wako na policy whereby ukikuja kufanya job in our country, ukikuja kushoot in our country, and you will be using part of our crew and also using part of our resources, we, instead of us charging you that tax that you are supposed to pay as for the licenses and other things in that particular country, what do? They say we are going to give you back maybe 30% of your budget, or maybe 30% of your budget to cover the taxes. So unapata ama wana give back the money, the percentage of the budget that was supposed to pay for taxes, they give it back. So you're like not paying any taxes. But unaona sasa hiyo pesa ukirudishiwa unairecoup back, like ni kama unaifanyia nao sasa project. So kama ulikuwa pale umenyima watu, umekata mambo ya lunch, umekata kidogo, umereduce pesa ya lunch, unajua sasa hapo hawa sawa kinijenga hii tax rebate, si mimi ninarudisha hii pesa kufanya nini? Ipige watu sasa wakule lunch ile mzuri sana ndio tuendelee na kazi ya sinema, si ndio? So that is another form of source of financing, and it happens hapa Kenya bado. Yeah, so we are yet to be there. Next point is co-production agreements. So what is co-production agreements? So co-production agreements, this is just a collaboration. Unasema mimi am Studio X, I want to collaborate with Studio Y. So my budget for this movie is 5 million. This 5 million, Studio X has equipment. Out of 5 million, 3 million covers equipment. So Studio X can provide equipment. Studio Y has the money that can work for the logistics and other paying of maybe cast and crew. So when you combine those efforts, it is a source of financing. Unajua sasa huyu msee amekuja in kind, hajakuja kupatia do because ako na equipment. So kitu ingine, hii kitu naonaga wase wanachukulia advantage huku nje. Sasa msee ako na equipment, mnaenda tu mnafikiria like huyu msee juu anafaa kuja, ni right yake kukuja akusaidie. Project ilikuwa ni yako. Umeita msee kuja afanye na wewe kazi. Have an agreement and just honor that in form of mna co-produce. You guys are co-producers. You are working together as co-producers to make sure that the film is being produced and kila mtu ana contribute part of the budget. Okay, so the other item is what we call venture capital or angel investors. Hii ni kama wale watu ambao tunaita pale juu tulikuwa tumeongea about private investors. So venture capital or angel investors, these are people wenye kuna wale tu individuals tu kuinje wanakuaga tu na do mbaya, like wale wasitu wanakuaga, these are not even your relatives, these are not people you are just engaging. These are people who have just the wealth. They are very wealthy people in your nation, in your community, and you can approach them with ideas and they will be like they'll be willing to fund. These are people you go meet. Unaweza wa meet through festivals. Si watu wenye unajua sana, unaweza wa meet through festivals. During pitching unaweza kuona pitch idea and then mtu aone idea yako aseme na by the way I think I love to invest in such. Example kama hii ni gani? Unaonaga wale wase ulikuwa wanafanyaga kitu inaitwa Lions Den. Mtu anaenda pale hivyo ana pitch idea yake, anasema mimi niko na battery fulani, ukiguza hivi na mate inawaka, ukiguza wale wa Science Congress, kama watu walienda Science Congress shule. So kuna mtu amekaa hapo kando anaona project yako, hiyo idea yako, unasema niko na battery fulani hivi tu, ukiguza na mate inajicharge na kuwa moto na inaanza kuweka stima. Sasa mtu anakupale so I can invest in that. I think hao ni wale wasa wanakoga mabillionaires tu, wanakoga tu wamekaa pale hivyo wanangoja who has a better idea. So these are venture capitalists and angel investors wanaitwa hivyo. So you can also get your funding through that. The other source of funding you can get is through film festivals and pitching programs. So niliongea mambo ya kuattend festivals na awards. Of course there are festivals zenye zinakuwa zimeorganized, you can have a workshop and then people pitch an idea. So you can prepare your idea very nicely and go pitch. So when you go pitch, utapata hawa watu wa venture capitalists, utapata private investors, utapata even corporates who wants to sponsor. So when you do through film festivals and pitching forums, you can also get finances, because unapata maybe the festival can offer to sponsor for marketing. Inaweza sema niaje, nimeona mlikuwa na project fulani, so na mko mmeweza kufanya screening, can we take it and now do marketing for you? So unaona say festival ina cover for that budget ya marketing, and it help market your product in form of just to cover the costs for that particular segment of production, which is marketing and distribution. So that's also another source of financing. And this one comes, some of them come in very in kind. They don't come at cash money unapewa uende ufanye. So get to differentiate that. Then the other thing is a partnership with NGOs. Yeah, so iko so common in our country, whereby a lot of we find a lot of filmmakers who partner with NGOs to make a movie. Or so NGO maybe inaweza kuwa inataka ku spread a certain word to the society, to the community. So what do? They now do they can do a film or a documentary. So they can look for people and fund a project, watu waandike projects, submit for competition, or maybe watu waandike inaweza commission some certain guys wafanye nini, waandike script watumie. So this is partnerships is another form of financing, because the NGOs might have, or NGOs have them might be having money for a CSR or for a particular project yenye ni related to film or documentaries that they want to fund. So that is another source of financing. So unaweza kuwa na project yako umeandika, na hii project maybe inaguza mambo ya early marriage, ama inaguza mambo ya childhood education, ama inahusiana na mambo ya HIV and AIDS. So when you're doing such a project, you know organizations to approach, so you can write to them proposals. When you write to these organizations proposals, this is when they are now able to fund your idea and say, by the way, tuliona script ingine hapa mzuri sana about mambo ya childhood marriage, and they say fine, we are going to fund that because it is it is in line with our mandate of what we are advocating for, or what we are pushing, the agenda we are pushing. Then the other element, the other source of financing tunasema hapa ni gani? Kuna kitu inaitwa product placement. Yeah, so product placement, I think it is something we've seen so much in many of the videos and many of the contents that people do, but ni vile sometimes we tuna assume maybe tu inakaa hiyo ni poa, but ama hapana. So unapata sometimes a movie can be having like they want to use the fonts that are being used by the actors. For example, kama hii ni font, so maybe unapata wanatumia iPhone kwa hiyo movie. So wakitumia iPhone, that is product placement. They have gone to Apple, wamewambia niaje, we have a movie and we want you guys to help finance this movie because we're going to do product placement of your items in our movie, and one of the stars, the main actors of the movie will be using that product and they'll be showing it. So unapata msea na act na iPhone, unashanga na wengine wanakopi tu hata wajui wanafanya nini, but that is marketing. Even the cars that are used on a particular, especially these action movies that have hizo chase cars, unapata wanatumia ma Audi, ma Mercedes, ma Porsche. So those are specific products that are put in place into that movie, that are placed in that movie to promote them. And once they are promoted, they're being promoted in that movie because wanatumia high-end actors who act in those movies so that will promote the product. Unapata ndio inakuwa na that inaitwaje, wanaweza kufinance that project to a certain level, ndio hiyo product yao iweze kuonekana in that movie. Then last but not least, for my topic of today is commissioning by distribution companies. So of course you might look, kuna sometimes watu kama Netflix, Showmax or even Prime Videos, they can call for submission of scripts. Watu wa submit ma scripts wa commissioniwe wa shoot hizo projects for the companies, for those distribution companies. So that is another source of financing, because utakuwa umeandika script yako, unatumia Showmax ama Netflix ama whichever company that is looking forward to a distribution deal, alafu wanafanya nini? Wanakupea do. So of course wakikupea do, au ndo wana own rights. Juu project sasa itakuwa ni kama ni yao, so wanaibuy off kama yao kabisa. Okay, so these are some of the sources of financing for filmmaking, and I know among the 14, yo guys, I know 2, 3, 4, 5 of them can work for you. You can work depending on the budget and depending on also your story. So you can go for apply for grants. Maybe grant inaweza kupatia half the budget, then the other budget utumie personal finances, or you go to private investors, or you go to pitch forums and you pitch your idea and you get venture capitalist, or yeah. So usiogope bana, andika bana, andika, write a script, write your script, make it ready for shoot, break it down, make sure you have a budget. Ndio usikue like unakutana na msee unamuuliza, anakuuliza na by the way naweza kusaidia aje. Ushakutana na mtu kwa lift mwenye anakaa kona do, ama let's say for example you go meet this person who is a billionaire, you meet Elon Musk in a lift, alafu anakuuliza, hello, how can I help you, do you want anything? And then you say, yes, I want something. So hizo kwanza uko starstruck, alafu umeshtuka, unataka kuuliza, do you want me to do for you anything? And then you say, yes, what can I do for you? I want to shoot a movie. Oh, what movie? What is the budget? So mmekutana tu, hiyo ni kitu random, you're doing some quick chats. So you see, you need to have the budget in your head, you need to know the kind of movie you're shooting. Uko na logline iko tayari msee. Unasema unakutana na msee ako na work, maybe hizi organizations ina deal na mambo ya education ama childhood education, unamwambia ni aje, anakwambia ni aje, unaweza kuwa na project ya movie ungetaka to fund. Yeah, so niko na hii idea ya watu hii ambao wanaenda shule nini vitu kama hizo. So that is where you need to package yourself and be ready for financing. So if you need more tips, and if you are looking for maybe kuna kitu haujaelewa amongst the way sources of financing zenye nimetaja hapa, just reach out. Hii number na hii email iko tu hapa, reach out, let us have a conversation, and I know going forward tutakuwa na more ideas of how we can be able to improve, and even how we can be able to raise finances for our productions going forward. Because guys, we need to shoot, we need to produce, we need to employ people, we need to empower people, and we need to tell stories. Unajua saa zingine tunalemewa ku tell stories because of money, and we don't want that. Okay, so remember also, great stories can come from any level of budget. So usifocus sana ati hii movie yangu lazima ni shoot na 5 million, hii movie lazima ni kwa 20 million ndio ni shoot. Hapana buda, hapana madam, kuja pole pole. Hizi vitu saa zingine unaweza fanya tu hata na some good budget, as long as you're able to tell the story, as long as you're able to bring in collaborations with other people wenye mnaweza fanya job pamoja. Because guys, we're in that part of the country, the world whereby we don't enjoy the luxury so much yet of having people investing into this kind of a venture. And you see, I'm here doubt just telling this because when people grow up, wanasemaga mimi sitaki kuwa msanii atakufa maskini. Sahi bana tunaenda, mambo ina change. So be the change, be ready to change, be ready to embrace, even just doing something small with a small budget, make something great as we continue to forge forward. Sindio? So wadau, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content and for more insights and about filmmaking. Thank you so much and cheers.